Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me today is Joe Orrico. Yeah, the Joe takeover on Friday. Let's go, everybody. And we're here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be Monday through Friday to watch Leading Off Live. Of course, you can watch us on our YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe there, drop your comments. And if you subscribe to both of the things, the Twitch and the YouTube, you could win fabulous prizes like our latest giveaway, the Billy Wagner ball. That's right, signed by old Billy Wags himself. Hall of Famer Billy Wagner autographed this baseball back in 2007, just for you. Subscribers to our channels over here, you get 1.5 times odds boost if you subscribe to our Twitch. So go check that out and follow us on Twitch too. It's free, and again, this is from Pristine Auction. It's June, Father's Day's around the corner. Get yourself something nice, or the dad in your life. Get them a cool autographed ball, helmet, jersey, something like that. Joe Orrico, Father's Day presents. Oh, someday you'll be a dad. What's the great Father's Day present for you? Blue Jays oriented Father's Day present someday that your young child will buy Joe Orrico. What do you think?
It's a scary thought, me with a child.
That is terrifying.
I know. I mean, I've already got myself some Blue Jays gear. I got a holiday jersey. I'm trying to think of what.
I'm thinking it's a Louis Varland cleat or something.
We're getting there. We're really getting there. You know what it might be? A little Dave Steve action. I think that might be a little throwback action.
God, I love that you love Dave Steve, because in the 80s, if that guy pitched on the Yankees or the Red Sox, Dave Steve would be in the Hall of Fame. Let me tell you, Dave Steve was one of my favorite pitchers. I love that guy, man. Did you even see him pitch? Were you even old enough to see him? No.
I'm a historian, though. I like the old stuff, as we've talked about, the old movies, the old TV shows. I
love that about you.
I'm going through like a 90s rap phase right now. I like the old stuff. I like all the old stuff.
I don't get this, because that's the problem. Like, Erickson lives in this bubble his whole life. And there's Joe Orrico throwing out like Matlock references out here and Murder, She Wrote stuff. Like, you gotta love that. Joe Carter jockstrap, by the way, Paragon says. That's a good one.
Joe Carter jockstrap would be pretty valuable. From 93, from Game 6 in 93.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Broke it running around the bases there.
Or maybe Mitch Williams' jockstrap is more apt.
Yikes. All right, we've got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, some giant news about a giant human. And by that, I mean me, Joey P. Joe P. We're talking about me first on the show today because Welsh isn't here, so I can. So we are going to get to Aaron Judge in a second. But something amazing happened, Joe Orrico, and this is why you use the tools of Fantasy Pros. So I'm using this as a teachable moment. I am at my daughter's flag football practice. We are just setting up cones. The girls are getting ready to run, and I get a little alert on my Fantasy Pros app. Beep, boop, boop. Brent Rooker, who I have in my home league, is not playing today. And I was like, well, I can't take him out of there because, well, it's a weekly transaction league. But it's nice to know. But wait, I picked him for my home run call. I better message Wonky Penguin. And I did, with the following. Rooker out at 7:16 p.m. Eastern time, just in case anybody's wondering, because I live in New Jersey. It's Eastern time. Rooker out, give me Langoliers. PCA, shout out to you. I love you, baby. Don't hustle after that ball. Why would you have to hustle after that ball? So I got not one, but 2 homers yesterday, which I think is going to make a lot of people upset on the program today, Joe.
You have the receipts, though. If you didn't have the receipt and you were just trying to come on here and say, I swear, Scout's honor, I had the 2 homers, you'd be getting in a lot of trouble here. But you got the receipts to back yourself up.
I would. And Kelly Kirby is a good friend because she makes fun of me constantly, and because, there you go, she also tried to delete her Slack when that happened also. So, but she knows. She's there. So let's get to the real news of the day, not the home run board, which is Aaron Judge. Ugh. There is no replacing Aaron Judge. Not for the Yankees, not for your fantasy team, but we're going to talk about it. So here you go. Let's go. Diagnosed with a stress fracture on that rib on his right side. He's going to be re-imaged, which is a fun thing to say. 4 to 6 weeks is when the re-imaging happens, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. But the quote is, he's expected to return sometime this season. I don't love that quote. There's also no definitive timetable. Now, I do believe we will get him back this year. I still believe if he is healthy that the Yankees are still the favorite in the American League. I'm just putting that out there. I'm not shaken by this. But this is a moment here where other guys are going to have to step up. I know Spencer Jones got called up, but that's only because Jasson Dominguez just started his rehab. My guess is Dominguez will be up. If Dominguez is available in your league, pick him up everywhere. I don't think he's a replacement for Judge, but if he gets hot, he is somebody that for a month can give you maybe 75%. If everything breaks right for him, Dominguez showed some power. He showed some speed at AAA. He was crushing the baseball for the first 25 games or so down in the minor leagues before the call-up. So, Joe, talk to me about what you do with the Aaron Judge owner right now and some possible, at least short-term band-aids for this situation.
Well, whenever they frame it, expected to return or should return later this year, in my mind, that tells me he's not going to come back. And maybe that's overestimating things, but it's really a dark way to frame it when we have 4 full months left in the season and there's only listed as an approximate 4 to 6 week recovery time. That just doesn't really make sense to me. I think that maybe it's a little bit worse than what they're saying. And they said that he was playing through it for a couple of weeks, and it wouldn't have surprised me if they made it a little bit worse. As Kelly said in the chat, they're trying to rule out the TOS, and it's good that it doesn't look like it's TOS because we've seen that end some careers. Jared Walsh comes to mind, former Angel, if you guys remember, career over from TOS. Sure. I don't think it's anywhere near that bad, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they take it a little bit easy with Judge. And on the betting side, I think the Rays are a little bit interesting now from the American League East perspective, just a game back. Bottom half of that Yankee order.
Point too.
Bottom half of that Yankee order was already really rough. I mean, Spencer Jones is going to get some playing time until Dominguez is back. McMahon's been awful. Austin Wells has been awful. It's the top few guys in the lineup, the Rices, the Goldschmidts, the Bellingers, and how long is Goldschmidt going to keep up a 900 OPS? So I do worry a little bit about the Yankees. If you're looking for replacements, you're never going to replace Aaron Judge, but a couple of names that could be available still. Carson Bench is only rostered in about a third of leagues somehow, which
That's a good one. He's been hot lately too.
It's surprising, and I'm going to not beat the homer allegations here, but Nathan Lucas started the year looking awful, but we found out it was because he had vertigo, and you can't really hold that against him. He saw a specialist in Phoenix a few weeks ago, and since he's returned, Joe, he's 15 for 33 with a homer, 455 batting average. So you're never going to replace Aaron Judge, but I think Nathan Lucas, Carson Bench, and maybe even he's not outfield eligible, but Jock Peterson's been lighting the world on fire recently.
Just talked about him this week on the Waiver Wire show, right? I mean, talked about Jock Peterson. He's another guy that can get hot for a month. He can give you Judgy and stats for a month, and then he can give you some pretty awful stats for another month. But that's Jock Peterson. That's always been the Jock Peterson experience. But if he is indeed locked in for a couple weeks, at least that gets you to All-Star break maybe. I like the Goldschmidt as a short term. I'm going to talk about him on our weekend show today too. We're going to have a discussion. And I was Googling this too because I wanted to educate myself because it feels like, why are so many Major League Baseball players prone to thoracic outlet syndrome? Seems like a very strange thing to me. So it's due to the extreme repetitive high velocity overhead throwing motion that can compress neurovascular bundle between the collarbone and the first rib. So there you go. So it happens mostly in pitchers because of the movement, but interesting that a guy like Judge, perhaps from the arc of his swing, I don't know, just I don't know. It's very difficult. Yes, I'm clearly not a doctor because cardiovascular and words like that are and neurovascular tough words for me to say. But would you consider getting out of the Judge business altogether here, since you are so pessimistic about it? Because you've got 2 months of a season of Judge in the bank. You've got at least probably 2 months you're going to miss him, which leaves you 1/3 left. If somebody gave you, I don't know, this is dumb, but could you get Tatis for him? Like somebody just like, I want out at Tatis. Would you take that and run?
I would take that and be pretty happy with it. Yeah, if you're able to get back any of those guys who are, the disappointing names, and that gives me an easy way to plug the show that's coming out tomorrow. I had Ryan Bloomfield on the podcast talking about disappointing hitters, and we talked about Tatis, we talked about Tucker, we talked about Vladdy, Trey Turner. Those type of names, if you're able to get back. What about
a lesser extent? What about Seiya Suzuki, who's been struggling this year? Would you take Seiya Suzuki, who had a great 2 years, last couple of years, but it's kind of struggle bus this season?
I probably would, but I think you might be able to do a little bit better, even potentially, than Seiya Suzuki. I'm trying to think of, is there a specific sweet spot? I had a couple questions yesterday about should I drop Judge, and there's no world where I would be dropping him.
That's ridiculous.
But trading him, I mean, if you're in a really shallow IL league, I can't even talk myself into it. I can't even justify it. You got to hold Judge, kick the tires, and see if somebody will offer you a top 50 player. Pretty much any top 50 player I would take for him.
All right. So again, we're trying to do our best here to break it all down for you with Judge because this is massive news. We knew it was coming. We kind of pushed it to the side the last couple of days because we wanted the definitive news before we decided to dedicate a whole show to it. But it's Friday, coming off a light Thursday slate. This is the perfect timing for us. And I got to tell you, it's the worst timing for the Yankees. Not that there's a good time, but it's pretty bad. I would say this, too. The Yankees pitching staff is the one that's pick it up now. And speaking of that, Carlos Rodon, you got a good start from him yesterday. That was huge, I think. So I just want to shout that out. So you need Rodon went out there and he threw, 6 innings, 1 earned run, struck out 7. You need him. You need Garrett Cole. You need Schlittler. Schlittler? Man, I'm having a long time today. You can put that one in the books, kids. You're welcome. Schlittler, who has neurovascular issues. You can tell it's Friday. But you need those guys to step up in a big way, not just for the Yankees, but for the good of all mankind. Let's talk about Jackson Chourio, 3 for 4 with a pair of 2-run homers. He walked and scored 4 runs as well. Jared Jones, nice outing for him. So again, patience should be the practice here with guys returning from injury, just like Logan Webb. 5 scoreless innings yesterday, 4 strikeouts. What'd you make of the Jared Jones start yesterday there, Joe?
It's the year of the guys who are coming back from injury or the big injury concerns really paying off. Everybody was worried about Mizorowski and Burns and Wheeler and McClanahan and Jared Jones, and they've all been really, really good. Jared Jones, I was not really expecting anything out of him this year, and there's still some things that concern me a little bit. He only has a 23% strikeout rate, 10% walk rate. It's still very, very early, but I think the good sign is that velocity being where it is at 99. I don't know if I'm all the way in on Jared Jones, but I think in shallow leagues, he's still available. If you're talking about 10 and 12 team leagues, I'll pull up the roster percentage, but I don't think that he is somebody that is already rostered everywhere. It's 44% on Yahoo, so he's worth picking up. He's worth picking up, but I think we have to also temper our expectations a little bit for these guys in their first year back from a major surgery.
Paragon wants to know cut bait on Corbin Burns following the setback. I would say yes. If you're in an IL squish there, you can't move things around. Also in the news, Chris Sale, tough outing for him. It's kind of the week of good pitchers gone bad. I feel like, you had Schlittler. See, I did it. That was okay that time. He had a bad start. Garrett Cole had a bad start. Now Chris Sale, bad start. 3 runs, 10 hits. That's the thing. 10 hits at 5 2/3 against your Blue Jays, which I know you love in this. There's a lot of positive Blue Jay stuff today.
I got a lot of Chris Sale shares, though, so I don't love it all the way.
So it was a mixed bag evening for Joe Orrico. Happy and sad. He's the comedy and tragedy masks watching baseball last night. Zach Wheeler, 7 strong, though. A win against Michael Calley's Padres. 8 strikeouts for him, just 2 runs. But how about that Jung Hoo Lee? 4 for 5, a double, 3 runs scored. This guy's on fire right now. Lee, in his last 7 games, is returning from the IL. Is hitting 655. I think it's unsustainable, Joe. But at the same time, it's fun. I'm looking right now at the roster percentage of Jung Hoo Lee, too, if you're just kind of in a pinch looking for outfield. On CBS, it's 47%. Another hot hitter in the outfield. Maybe you could just get by with a week or 2 of him until you figure out a more long-term plan. But I still think shopping Aaron Judge is an interesting thing depending on what you can get for him. He's such a big name. Yeah. I think you might be surprised. People always want to look on the sunny side of things. If you're a pessimist like Joe Orrico, you might be able to get more than you think. And especially if you're fighting for your life in the standings. If you're at the top, I think you weather the storm. If you're in the middle or the bottom, I think you move on. But Joe Orrico, what are your thoughts on this Jung Hoo Lee hot streak that we're seeing right now?
Yeah, I like him. Each year that he's been in the big so far, I've been drafting him. He's never been that expensive, and he's kind of like another version of Luis Ariz. You're not going to get him many homers, but you're going to get a 300 batting average, something close to it. I know the last couple of years, 262, 266. He's just getting acclimated to the major league. Still very young. If you look at what he did in Korea, the lowest batting average he ever had was 318. So I do think that obviously 665 isn't going to happen, but I think he can hit 300 or somewhere damn near close to it. He's not going to hit more than a handful of homers, but that Luis Ariz type of player is still valuable, especially if you are looking for an outfield replacement.
All right, let's get to Ketel Marte. He had a big home run off Tanner Scott, so I did kill the Padres a little bit here, but I gave you a Dodger loss at least. So, Michael Cal, I hope you're happy with that. So I'm trying to make everybody in a good mood. Let's do a little deep dive here. Let's talk about some bullpens. Louis Varland, before mentioned. I don't know what to say. I don't think anybody saw this coming. There's a lot of words you could use to describe this. Unbelievable, unfathomable, bizarre. He's got a .28 ERA, a .99 whip, 43 strikeouts to 9 walks in 32 1/3 innings, and he is 9 for 9 in save chances. So, Joe Orrico, what has been the secret sauce here for Louis Varland moving into this role as the closer, especially after Hoffman's struggles up and down last year, that Varland has become arguably the most dominant reliever in baseball over the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I honestly was hoping that Louis Varland would be stretched back out into a starting pitcher. I think the talent is there that he could be a starter. He has a deep enough arsenal. The stuff is great. He came up as a starter. But I think that this role is something that I think other teams will look around the league and see young guys, 23, 24, 25. Maybe they haven't had such success as a starter, but they have a deep arsenal. Putting that guy in the bullpen, maybe it's a one off with Louis Varland here, but most bullpen arms have two pitches. You have fastball, slider, fastball, curveball,
Hmm.
whatever. Louis Varland throws four, if not five pitches. The sinker he doesn't throw all that often, but he has five pitches in his arsenal. And that's so hard for hitters to be able to predict. Throughout the course of the game, you're facing a starter three times. It's a little bit different. You come up against Louis Varland, you don't know if he's going to go fastball heavy. He might use the knuckle curve a lot, like sinker. There's a lot of pitches that he can beat you with, and I think that just differentiates him from a lot of different relievers in baseball who only have one or two offerings. He has five of them. They are all really, really good, and I just want to say thank you to the Minnesota Twins for trading the hometown boy to Toronto for peanuts at the deadline last year.
Yeah, I mean, because Louis Varland was like a big deal prospect with the Minnesota Twins, and it's kind of bizarre to think that I don't know. Minnesota seems to have a very weird thing where they seem to generate good talent, but then they
Yeah.
get to the big league level and they don't excel there. And I think there's got to be a deeper process of asking themselves why that's the case. Why do the guys? I mean, Byron Buxton struggled so much in his transition to the major leagues. There's something going
Yeah.
on in that divide between the AAA and the major league roster in the development of these guys. I don't know if it's mentally, I don't know if it's physically, whatever it is, but it's been odd. I mean, even to a certain extent, look at Ketel Lee, Edouard Julien, right? Edouard Julien looked like a guy who could be a guy, right? I thought I was like, man, this guy could be like the next Jose Vidro type hitter, and he just completely bottomed out. It's very bizarre, that weird disconnect that seems to be happening on that jump from AAA to the big leagues. Royce Lewis, another one too.
Yeah.
They must have really good cooking down in where's the AAA for the Twinkies nowadays?
St. Paul? Is it St. Paul? I
Is
think.
it St. Paul?
I
I
might
think
be
so. I
wrong.
can't.
Minneapolis, St. Paul, one or the
I
other.
don't remember, but
But this team also, another thing with the Twins is they don't choose a direction. At least right now, the current construction of the team, they got half a foot in and half a foot out. Why is Joe Ryan still here? I know Byron Buxton has a no trade clause. You
yeah.
got to go as the front office and talk to him and say, look, you're having a great season. We're in a full rebuild. Do you want to compete for a World Series? Because you damn sure are not doing that in Minnesota the next couple of years. They kind of
Mhm.
did a half sell at the deadline last year. Varland, Duran, Ty France. I'm probably forgetting a couple others. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Choose a direction.
Yeah, I think that direction is Joe Ryan going somewhere else. And with the way he's been
Yeah.
pitching, I think a lot of teams are going to be lining up to get him. By the way, CC brings up a great point here, too. Yoendris
Yeah.
Gomez does look like the saves leader there since we're talking bullpen. Talked about him on yesterday's waiver wire show. If you missed it, go watch it on demand on Fantasy Pros MLB. Give you a big spiel about why he's probably going to be the guy rest of season or going forward for saves. He's been really good in his last three appearances, too. A whip under .9, ERA under 1. He's been spectacular. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. So good stuff from him. Also, Alex Lange, by the way, got a save against the Twins yesterday. So Lucas Urseg, again, started to get beat around a little bit. Then the manager came out and said, well, it's going to be a fluid situation. It's starting to look very fluid, and Alex Lange looks like the solution. So what I did there,
Yeah.
I made a liquid metaphor. Just want people to appreciate that. Is Alex Lange the guy to pick up now going forward there in Kansas City, or is this another one-off for you?
If you're desperate for saves, I think it's all right. I mean, he has 26 save season under his belt in 2023, and then I don't know how many people fondly remember this. 2024, he was drafted as the closer in Detroit, and then the first day of the season, he did not
Yeah.
get the save opportunity, and he has 4 total saves in the last 3 years since then. Below the surface, the numbers are bad. Like a 139 whip, he walks 13% of batters, not a ton of strikeouts, a lot of barrels against, but it's a rock and a hard place for them. They just don't really have many better options. And the fact that Lang does have previous closing experience, I think he'll probably be the guy. It should not be Urseg. Urseg is awful, and I haven't heard a report about Carlos Estevez in a while. So I
No.
think it probably is Alex Lang for the time being. Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's going to surprise you. And again, this is why I don't run out to overpay for closers. And I just saw Wonky Penguin literally just make a move in our Fantasy Pros league. Also on my app here, my little app going on here, that she just picked up Gomez just now during the show, during this discussion. So after
Sneaky.
saying the Twins have no idea what they're doing, then she goes and does it right here on the show, right in front of me, bro. That's what
While you're
happens when you knock
distracted,
somebody out. into second place from first place. That's what happens. All right, let's talk about Carmen Molzinski. How come I can say that today, but I can't say Schlittler? First save for him, but again, he was working 4 innings in the bulk role. Do you think somebody's going to come after him and take him away from Pittsburgh, or do you think they're going to leave him in this kind of weird limbo here in the bullpen?
After he's shown what a team player he is over the last week, I'm not. I'm not.
That's why Welsh isn't here today. You hear Joe Orrico is getting the start. He's like, "Screw it, I'm out." He just walked away from the program.
He said he's not pitching bulk relief for FantasyPros. He's not doing it. I think Mlodzinski, and I can't even pronounce his name properly. I'm going to butcher it. My apologies to all the Polish people watching. I apologize. I think he's really good. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be incentivized to move off of him, because how often do teams have a 6th pitcher and we don't know what they're going to do? Nature figures itself out. There's usually an injury or something along those lines. Honestly, what should happen is that Bubba Chandler should go back to AAA, and I think Mlodzinski should be in the rotation. I don't see them moving him. It looks like they have worked through whatever problems internally they've had. The fact that he did pitch yesterday. So I don't think there's any move to make here. Unless they put him back in the rotation, I'd be willing to stream him. But for now, I think you just got to sit and wait tight.
Joe, you say a lot of smart things. That is a very smart thing you just said. Bubba Chandler's the guy that should get sent down. Like, it ain't working. It's just not happening. Go figure it out. Go work it out. Come back after the All-Star break if you can figure it out. My concern with him is that he go down there and pout like he did last year, because it felt like he was pouting when he got passed over for that promotion.
And a lot of pouting.
Ballpark. A lot of pouting in the Pirates organization. What's going on over there? What's happening?
They're all angry they play for Pittsburgh. I think that's
because they're all kids, because they're all travel ball kids, all grown up now. This is what happens. This is the new culture. This is it. Get used to it, America. All these kids who played travel ball were all the best kid ever, and now all of a sudden they get a demotion or they get bumped from a rotation. They don't get their orange slices on time. Stuff happens. Schlittler happens to them. Shout out to CC and JD, 5-stream streak, by the way. Paragon resub with Prime. There you go. There you go. That's a good time there. And yeah, it was the St. Paul Saints, by the way. Still the AAA affiliate. I thought it was, but you never know. I feel like everybody moves around so much that it gets past me sometimes. All right, nothing's getting past Bryce Eldridge right now. Let's do a little rookie action for his last 15 games. Pretty good. 358, 426, 565 slash. 7 walks. That's the thing. 7 walks to 10 strikeouts. The big difference maker for me there. A 991 OPS. So what's been the special sauce for Bryce Eldridge in this turnaround, Joe?
Honestly, I think it's just getting him everyday reps. When they first brought him up, he was playing once every 3rd day. He was hitting 5th and DHing, and then he'd have 2 days off, and then he'd bat 7th and play first base. He's played, it looks like 10 of the last 11 games or something along those lines. And I think we see this with teams. The Orioles have been very guilty of it. You bring up these prospects, they sit on the bench, they have 7 at-bats, then they strike out in all 7 of them, and then people say, oh, he's not ready yet. You give these guys a little bit of regular run, they get acclimated, they get their feet wet in the major leagues, and we're seeing that with Bryce Eldridge. The talent was always there. I just think he needs the consistent reps to stay hot, and right now he's looking fantastic. I'd be picking him up pretty much wherever. I think if you need help, you need a first baseman. Hell, you need a Judge replacement, and you can do a little mix and match in your lineup and put Eldridge in the utility spot. He's one of the top pickups, I think, if you just need pure offense without a position. Oh, he's already got first base on Yahoo. Okay.
Yeah. So would you drop Eldridge? Would you drop Pasquantino? Where is it? Where's the Pasquantino? There it is. We're dropping Vinny P for Eldridge. That was the question I was trying to find. Dad asked that, and I thought that was provocative.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I think if you're in like a 15-team league, I wouldn't want to drop Vinny yet. Or if you're AL only, I'd want to hang on. By and large, I think this move is fine, though.
We're going to be here not we. Some of us will be here on August 15th and be like, should we drop Vinny Pasquantino? No, it's too soon. I can't do it yet.
It's the Italian in me. I can't bring myself to
drop. I can't do it. I'm too loyal to these guys, huh?
Cousin Vinny, man. He's so much better than this. This is what I hate. And I feel like next year when Vinny P is dirt cheap, he'll be a really nice draft day value.
Oh, yeah. No, I'd buy back in. Jacob Gonzalez, International League Player of the Month. I just wanted to highlight this. Again, the White Sox are an embarrassment of riches. 344, 438, 771 slash 8 doubles, 11 homers, 36 RBI, 15 walks, 21 runs scored at 1209 OPS in 24 games in May. Man, oh man, yep. Jacob Gonzalez, another piece for the White Sox. The White Sox are going to be fun. I'm thinking about adopting them as my alternate American League team there, just to enjoy some baseball, because I like the underdog. It's fun. It's a good time.
it's a good story, right? Like they went from being such a great team. They were so good. Even under La Russa, they were a 90-win team. Tim Anderson, Cease Giolito, Liam Hendricks was one of my favorites. And then they bottomed out worse than maybe any team ever. And to their credit, within 3 or 4 years, the future's already looking really, really good. They might win the Central this year.
Yeah, it's just an incredible run there for the White Sox. And Jacob Gonzalez, another guy too, internationally player of the month. And he like they just keep bringing these guys up there. And right now he is rostered in 22% of leagues, just FYI. So,
do you think they re-sign Murakami? Do you think that they try and give him a longer term deal, or do you think they trade him? Like, what do you think they do there?
That's a great question, Joe. I think they're going to try. And it feels like a guy like Murakami, if you come in somewhere, you have success, I think you take the money if it's decent. However, this is kind of something we touched on earlier in the week. I feel like the possibility of when other teams have to go above a certain threshold, that there's going to be a lot of teams after that labor agreement, they're going to have to spend money. And they'll look at a guy like Murakami and say, there's a 40 home run guy. If we have to spend money somewhere, let us spend there. So I think for anybody who might be a free agent or is thinking about wanting to be a free agent, Joe Ryan, for instance, mutual options, like I'd be testing the waters if I was these guys, because there's about more than half of the teams in Major League Baseball that might have to push themselves over $150 to $170 million payroll that they're nowhere near right now. And there's worse ways to spend it than guys like Joe Ryan and guys like Murakami. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm onto something there?
I think you are onto something, because there are, I think half of the teams in the league, or 14 teams, are well short. Maybe not all of them are well short, but they're all short of that proposed floor. And that floor that we saw with 170 million or something like that, the fact that we saw that proposal means that that was agreed to by at least 22 or 23 owners. I forget what the number is. But that seems like a legit floor number, and a lot of teams are going to have to spend $50 to $100 million before next season, or hopefully not before 2 years from now. Whenever the next season of baseball starts, they're going to have to spend to get up to that. And I think that a guy like Murakami, you might tell yourself on paper, the spreadsheets tell us that he's a $21 million guy. We're going to give him 28 because we need to spend. And I think that makes sense. That's fine with me.
I love Life with Fife, but he stepped way out of line here. He's getting way too much love in the comments for doing it right now. Murakami is the Asian Paul Konerko. No, he is not. Okay? Do not sully the name of Paul Konerko on my podcast ever. Okay? Murakami's been great. It's been very entertaining. I'm going to run through it for you. Okay? Here's Paul Konerko from 2001 on. Actually, you can even go before that. 1999 on. 2481, 2197, 3299, 27104, 41117, 4100, 35113, 31. Oh my God, what happened to these guys? 2888, 39111, 31105. He's also a career 280 hitter. Okay?
Yeah.
Murakami's never sniffing 280. That's not happening. All right?
There's a chance with Murakami. Paul Konerko, as somebody who grew up playing MLB The Show in the 2000s, one of my favorite players to watch and play with. One
Body
thing that
type,
I think,
maybe. Yes, Fife. Okay. That's right. But not statistically. Don't you dare.
I think the risk of Murakami, especially now that he's going to miss a bunch of time, is that he does end up being a little bit overrated in the fantasy world. We haven't seen the fall off. We haven't seen the downside yet. People have only seen the good side, and they'll be drafting him, I think, a little bit too aggressively next year, depending on what happens when he comes back. But I think Kelly might have it there with the Ryan Howard comp. I think that feels a little more
that's
accurate.
A good one. Yeah. Well, Paul Konerko, I mean, the days of Maglio Ordonez and Carlos Lee and Paul Konerko.
Oh, I love Maglio.
Even to a lesser degree, Jose Abreu. The guys that just hit everywhere, every split, lefty, righty, home road, first half, second half. Where are those guys? Where have they gone to? Where have you gone, Maglio Ordonez?
Maglio should have won an MVP.
For those who stay. Oh,
he should have.
God.
I think it was 2007. I think it was the Joe Mauer, maybe Morneau season. Maglio should have been the American League MVP. Vastly underrated player.
Joe Mauer was a catcher. That's why. Joe Mauer was a matinee idol.
I know.
Us guys who look like Paul Konerko, we don't get that kind of love. All right, here's this was fun yesterday. This is just a fun story. So Brayan Bello yesterday. Sometimes, we all think of ourselves sometimes having bad days, right, Joe? Like, you have good days, we have bad days. Brayan Bello had, like, the worst day. He gave up 6 runs in the first inning, 8 and 5 innings overall. Lost to the Orioles. Then the Red Sox made a trade for Joe La Sorsa from the Pirates for cash, who's got a 3.46 ERA, a 107 WHIP, 22 strikeouts, 6 walks over 26 AAA innings. They seem to want to give him a start in the rotation, and Brayan Bello gets sent down. So you're so bad that you get DFA'd and then they trade for another guy. They send you down. They trade for another guy to replace you in the rotation, all within like a 12-hour span. That's a pretty bad day for Brayan Bello, who, by the way, when you look at the splits, as a starter, he's got a 10 ERA in 35 innings with a 2.2 WHIP, 3.56 batting average against. As a reliever, though, 25 innings, a .71 ERA, a .91 WHIP, a 2.13 batting average. Brayan Bello should be in the bullpen.
He should be in the AAA bullpen, I think. I don't know where his role is going forward. It's interesting to see. I feel like it's still a little bit too small sample size stuff. 25 innings it's not a bad sample, but I just don't think he's a good pitcher. I don't think you can start him. You can put him in the pen. Like, it doesn't really matter. His fastball is just not good. It's about 94. He doesn't use it so much. He uses more of the sinker now, but neither of them are good. Neither of them are good pitches. And without being able to rely on that main offering, the fastball, the two-seamer, four-seamer, sinker, whatever it is, I feel like it's still very important, as much as it's just, the sweeper meta we're in, and every year there's a new fun pitch, the kick change, whatever. You still need a good fastball, and his fastball stinks. And outside of that, the other offerings aren't good either. This would really piss me off.
I love when the Italians get on the show, because you get things like the fastball stinks. I love that. Yeah. That's the take I'm looking for.
I wanted him to not start the year in the rotation. I wanted Tolley and I wanted Early, and I know it sounds like revisionist history. Go back and listen to the March shows. I've not been a Brayan Bello fan.
You and me both, brother.
I do not think Brayan Bello is a major league starting pitcher right now.
It's why I was so aggressive still on Bello and Tolley. I mean, on Tolley and Early, because there was uncertainty there. And then uncertainty suppressed their draft value. And I was like, good, because I don't believe in Brayan Bello at all. So I'm going to take advantage of this. And that's why I got Tolley and Early everywhere. So that's the concept there. That's what you want to do. Like, if you believe something, stick to your guns, right? If your evaluation process is good about it and you don't believe in a player, but you like the player that's coming up behind them, you go ahead and you make the investment. Let's do 3 up and 3 down. Ryan O'Hearn. How about those Pirate guys? How about those Pirate free agent signings? Huh?
Yeah.
Lau and O'Hearn, what a job they've done. Homer drove in 3 runs. Vladdy, 3 for 5, your boy, with a double, pair of runs scored. Like him to hit some more home runs, but whatever. JT Ginn, 6 innings, 1 run, ball, struck out 8. Another one of our early guys to pick up on waiver wire. He's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 6 consecutive starts. I mean, Ginn's been spectacular there. The downs, Shota Imanaga, charged with 6 runs in 6 innings. Seth Lugo, not great for him. 5 runs, 6 hits in 5. And then Kwei Tang, unfortunately, not a good evening for him. 5 runs, 4 earned, and 7 hits. Injuries, Max Muncy and Ildemaro Vargas ran into each other. It's not Max Muncy's fault. He's running in the baseline. To me, Vargas is completely in the wrong. You cannot take a path directly into the base path there. You've got to take an angle at a turn and trying to catch the back corner of that base. That is, and I know he plays in different positions, and I know that's hard because, everyday first base, Keith Hernandez, Don Mattingly don't have that kind of issue, right? Don't worry about it. JT Snow is okay. He knows what to do there. But a guy like Vargas might not. And it was unfortunate, but Muncy is not in the wrong for that collision. It was unfortunate. I'd be surprised if we saw either of them in the games today.
My most rostered player, Max Muncy, so really enjoying that one. I think part of it also comes down to Ryan Nelson, who I love Ryan Nelson, but if you watch that play, he's standing on the mound, and he's eating his popcorn, he's got his binoculars out. Get over to the bag. Cover the bag. Because now your first baseman, because nobody's covering, your first baseman now has to sprint, and now we have a high-velocity collision. I think another thing that's been mentioned before, Travis Sawchik, who's a national baseball writer, he's written about this before, the softball bag. Having the 2 bags at first, I know, we're purists. We like the 1 baseball bag at each position is what we're used to. But in softball, there's the white bag and then there's the orange bag on the foul side for the runner to step on. And I think you'd mitigate a lot of injuries with that. I know it's aesthetically not that pleasing, but these things wouldn't happen.
You know what? You could sell advertising on it, though. So
you could put the Nike logo, or we put whatever logo on it. Oh, Joe, it's my turn to get triggered in the chat now. Ryan O'Hearn would be better than Todd Helton if he played 20 years ago? Come on. Todd Helton is one of my favorite players growing up.
I love this.
He's a Hall of Famer.
This is no longer leading off. This is just 2 angry Italians. Just that's what we're doing today on a Friday. This is great.
One
Todd
more.
Helton was great. Todd Helton also might have been on special vitamins. Let's not pretend like that's not possible.
He might have been. He might have been. And
he was also an ex-football player too. So like those guys are, people forget he was quarterback at Tennessee. A lot of people forget that.
He actually, I did know that. As much as I'm not a football guy, Todd Helton, just special. I love Todd Helton. Anyway,
great hitter.
One last thing here, Vladdy or Delgado. It's Carlos Delgado. Carlos Delgado, it should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best power hitters of his era.
Nowhere near Delgado yet.
Vladdy's nowhere near Delgado. If Vladdy won the World Series last year, then he'd have my heart more. And I guess it's more Jeff Hoffman's fault than Vladdy's fault. But anyway, I could go on a tangent.
Look, Vladdy had a great playoff.
Yeah.
He had a great series too. Yeah, he did everything he could. But I think just statistically, the consistency of Delgado, I mean, again, it's like the Paul Konerko lines. You start reading Delgado numbers off, on an annual basis, which I can do because it's Friday. And I don't.
Yeah, why not?
So let's do it. Let's read some Carlos Delgado years off there. Starting in 1997, 30-91, 38-115, 44-134, 41-137, 39-102, 33-108, 42-145, 32-99, 33-115, 38-114, and then the last couple years of his career, 24-87, 38-115 at 36 years old.
It was a monster. It was a monster.
37, he only played 26 games and he retired.
Yeah, it's like he should be in the Hall of Fame. He was a one and done. He was a one and done on the ballot. It's egregious. He has
473 career home runs. So if he played one more year and he had 500, that's it. Another 280 hitter with 470 home runs. How many does Konerko have? He's got to be well above 3.
I think 450.
He's at 439.
Yeah.
Paul Konerko, not nearly, and Carlos Delgado did not get enough love. Thank God for this show. Michael Garcia was out again yesterday, and Corey Seager is expected to join the Rangers this weekend. So there you go. Get him back in your lineups, everybody. Let's look at the home run board, shall we? Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's getting uncomfortably close. Whips, High Cubby, Solar at the top, above me at number 4 now, 26. So I'm coming for you. If you listen close, do you hear the footsteps? Do you hear me coming for you? It's not your contest anymore. This is not the people's contest. This contest is my contest. And that jersey is going to be on my back. And you're going to hate me for it. And I'm going to love every minute of it. Let's go. Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. It's free. It's fun for some of you. It's more fun for me. Make home run calls. Welsh has his home run call in perpetuity for the weekend. He is choosing Kyle Schwarber, the Schwarbombs. I am choosing a fellow named Shohei Ohtani this weekend against the Angels because that guy's starting to pick up business just a tad, hitting 500 over the last week. Joe Orrico, Schwarber, Ohtani, already selected. Where would you like to go for a home run call for the people today?
Slightly off the beaten path, but Christian Yelich placing the Colorado Rockies. We are at Coors Field. I think this one is going to be looking pretty good for him against Ryan Feltner, who, Ryan Feltner's no good. Yelich is having a kind of an underrated season. I know he's missed a little bit of time, but Yelich is another guy that I don't think gets the love that he deserves anymore. I think people are kind of over Christian Yelich, but he's still a very good baseball player.
Michael's correct. If I do win, I will wear that jersey every day on the show for a year.
Are you even eligible? Would they give it to you?
I don't know. I'm competing in it.
Yeah, they should.
I have Discord.
They should give it to you.
Am I going to win it? Probably not. But if I do.
If you take Shohei in perpetuity or something, you might. Although Kelly said yesterday she might give you Chandler Simpson in perpetuity. If you.
Thank God for the Fantasy Pros alerts. It's the only reason I saw it. I would have been throwing footballs, yelling at 13 and 14-year-old children to run faster and do things better. But instead I was real quick. Boop, boop, boop. Kelly, give me Shea Langoliers.
Now they're just trying to trigger me. Paul Molitor, Kevin McGonigal, get out of here.
No, let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy here. All right, let's do a little bit of, Joe, I just realized what time it is. You realize it?
Oh, I do.
It's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and Joe Orrico, brought to you by Hard Rock Bet, the sponsor of our show. NBA Finals tonight, Friday, Game 2. Knicks up 1. What happens next? I don't know. Nobody knows. But I will say this. You can get on the other action over at Hard Rock Bet on the hardwood for the NBA Finals, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, and Major League Baseball like today's bet. The Dodgers run line -1.5 plus 106. Roki Sasaki's been terrific. The Angels have been anything but. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my boy Roki on the hot start here. Not to mention Shohei Ohtani playing out of his mind the last week or so. So I think the Dodgers have a pretty good chance to win this one. I need a win. I'm stone cold this week. I don't know what's going on with me. So let's go, Roki. Let's get on the board at the end of the week. How about you, Joe? What do you like today?
Yeah, Rockies and Brewers, as I mentioned earlier, they're still going in the chat. They're actually cracking me up quite a bit here.
Yeah, some
But
funny ones in the chat right now, for sure.
I'm taking the over on the Brewers and Rockies. 11.5. I know it's a high number, but we are at Coors. We have Brandon Sproat and his 6.24 ERA going up against Ryan Feltner and his 4.85. You add their ERAs together, it's actually higher than the line of this game. I do think we are going to see a massive offensive explosion tonight, so I am taking the over in the Brewers and Rockies.
Sign up today. New users bet $5, get 150 bonus bets when you win, plus your winnings over at Hard Rock Bet. Download the app today and start betting at Hard Rock. All right, and I just realized it's all Italian show today, too, because Michael Carland, our producer's Italian. And Seth, despite the red hair, apparently his mom's Italian. Maiden name, I'm just reading this now, is Brancini. So now you can get into all of Seth's passwords because I gave you his mother's maiden name. So there you go. But I didn't realize that. So all the Italians came out of the woodwork for you people today, for all the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks that talk some baseball. Pretty good day. Joe Orrico, you're always the best. Tell everybody again about the show you got up right now. What was it? Bloomfield was the guest, I believe you said, right? Who's great.
Yeah, it was Ryan Bloomfield,
awesome.
He was the first person I ever did a show with way back in the day. Very good friend. We talked about 10 disappointing hitters. Vladdy, Tatis, Jackson Merrill, Mookie Betts, Brent Rooker. Are we panicking? Are we selling them? What are we doing? So we broke that down. 45-minute show. 10 players, 45 minutes for the people who don't like it when we go over an hour. That one is an efficient one, and Bloom is the best. So make sure you check that out. But I will say, Joe, this is maybe been my favorite ever episode of Leading Off to do. It's been a great show.
Pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to listen to that show while I'm sitting in my pool this weekend because it's been 90 degrees here 3 days in a row, which means the pool is finally hot enough to go in after waiting for 2 weeks of it just running and me staring at it. You know that meme of like, what is it that, oh God, what's his name? What's his name? The actor who plays the Hulk. My God, Mark Ruffalo. When he's like outside, and I don't know what the other movie is, but he's got the mustache. He's like staring out the window, and he's like sitting by. That's me looking at my pool for the last when it rained all Memorial Day weekend. All I want to do is just go swimming in my pool, have a cocktail in the pool.
I wish I had a
listen to Joe Rico's podcast. That'll do it for us. Well, come over. You got a passport.
I'm checking flights right now.
There you go. Well, it's cheaper than driving. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. With Joe Orrico, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Good stuff.
See, Kelly, Evan Carter over Vlad Sr., that one doesn't hurt me. I don't have any affiliation with Vlad Sr., but I appreciate the Carter.
Yeah, some of these are hilarious.
Tristan McKenzie over Roy Halladay.
Miguel Sano over John Olerud. Hilarious.
Good Lord.